Hello guys, it's D the Dot, and I have to be completely honest with you guys. I am editing this entire video and talking right now 1 day before it is posted because I procrastinated a lot. So this video is kind of unscripted, kind of yappy. We're just gonna chill. I suggest grabbing snacks or draw while you watch. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10 experience. And first of all, how are you guys? It's October. That's so exciting. I love October. Okay, so the topic of today's video, in general, it'll probably branch off a little bit, is cringe culture and why the whole concept of it is honestly really stupid. I said it. So the reason why I felt the need to make a video like this, funny story. I was at like a fall festival thingy, and these guys walked by. They were like your average popular dude. I don't know. They looked very basic, whatever. And they were talking to each other, and I overheard, and I was like really confused because they said, "Bro, the emos in our school are like so cringe. Like, why are emos so cringe?" And I was like kind of baffled because do people genuinely still think like this? Like, I don't know. I hang out with a bunch of nerds, so I was really confused because I thought that was just in movies, bro. I thought that was just in movies. So, first thing, emos. Let's talk about emos. A huge misconception about emo culture is that it's just a fashion style, and that is very much not correct. And not only is that not correct, but it's also really funny because when people see someone like wearing an all black outfit, they go, "Oh, you're so emo, bro. Why are you so emo?" Like, does that make Woober emo? He's all black. Anyways, if you're unaware, emo is actually a style of music. I'm reading a dictionary definition. I don't know how accurate this is, I'm sorry. A style of rock music resembling punk, but having more complex arrangements and lyrics that deal with more emotional subjects. So, it's a music genre where it's rock adjacent. I don't think it has to all be rock, actually. But yeah, you get the gist. Not everyone who listens to emo music has to dress traditionally emo, and not everyone who dresses traditionally emo listens to that kind of music. So basically, I just don't really understand why people who are emo get that much hate, because it's literally just a genre of music that they listen to, and if they want to dress emo, a style of clothing, like, I don't really get why that matters to people so much. Fashion and music taste is literally just a form of self-expression. It's just something that's comforting to them. They're not doing it for you. So if you have ever like seen someone dressed emo and you've just been like, "Wow, what a weirdo," stop, because it's not your business. That's not it's not their deal. My credibility in being able to say this is because I do listen to emo music. I dress kind of emo adjacent. I think I dress kind of more grunge, but I listen to emo music, and shamelessly so, because screw cringe culture. Listen to what you want, dress how you want. The next topic of discussion is the furry fandom, because a lot of people are super uneducated about this topic. A lot of people think it's a way different thing than it is. So I feel like I want to go over it just so I can make my point here. Before you freak out with misinformation in the comments, a furry is just someone with an interest in anthropomorphic animals, or animals with human characteristics. Some furries create a fursona that basically is an animal representation of themselves. And a small percentage of furries also creates cool animal costumes called fursuits. Furries face a lot of hate and weird comments because of a select few number of them that are weird as heck. And not in the cool way, just straight up weird as heck. But the vast majority of furries are completely normal people like you and me. I know there are a lot of people watching this, probably especially those of you who know me in real life, who are thinking like, this is just a weird topic, but the reason I'm talking about it is just because they are very much a target of cringe culture when they don't necessarily need to be. Furries do not believe they're animals, and they don't want to be animals. All it is basically just elevated cosplay. And even then, you don't have to dress up to be a furry or anything. The only way that you're a furry is if you say you are. All that being said, are furries weird? Yes, of course, they are. Like any other kind of nerd, furries are very weird. However, that doesn't give you the right to harass them. You should literally just be respectful. That's all you need to do. If you're curious for like more information about what the fandom is actually about, I highly suggest you do some research, because it can just help you be more of an accepting person and not fall into the misconceptions. Crazy concept, I know, but basically just treat every human with equal respect. What? Okay. Anyways, next topic of discussion is just kind of like cringe interests in general. We're talking like anime, The Amazing Digital Circus, Cookie Run Kingdom. I don't know, like those kind of things that get a lot of hate. Frankly, I just simply do not get why having an interest is seen as uncool just because it's not as mainstream as other people's interests. Like, that is just baffling to me. Anime is literally just a normal animated TV show. It just happens to be from Japan. I know. Crazy. That's so cringe. What the heck? For some reason, I thought of Cookie Run Kingdom just because I feel like there's a lot of, like, people who get hate for liking that game. It's just a mobile game! Same with, like, Dandy's World and whatever the other one is. It's not like I personally am, like, huge fans of that kind of media, but I don't judge people who like it because it's literally just an interest. Yeah. Of course there are times in any person ever where they just take their interests a little too far and they start making people uncomfortable. Of course that is not okay. You're allowed to tell them off for that. Just don't really judge the interest, just judge a person's actions. Back to when I mentioned The Amazing Digital Circus, indie shows in general are typically really liked by a large majority of nerds nowadays. Personally, it's not always my cup of tea, but like, guess what? I don't judge the people who like that material. I get why they like it. It's just not personally for me. Cringe culture is just such a strange thing because it just originates from people in the mainstream seeing things that aren't like them, things that they don't necessarily favor, and just therefore dubbing it a cringe, weird, sometimes even gross or dangerous hobby, when in reality it's just a harmless interest. You know what I always joke about is that those cliche football jocks that you see in movies, and kind of in real life, let's be honest, are just as much of nerds as any nerd, because they are, guess what, obsessed with one specific topic, they talk about it with all their friends, they dedicate their time to it, it's just a big interest of theirs. Guess what, you're still a nerd, you just like sports instead of art and writing and other nerdy subjects. Now, on behalf of all of my gamers in the audience, gaming is not cringe. Can it become an obsession that might be a little annoying? Yes, of course. But guess what? You just have another interest. Being a gamer isn't a cringe thing. You should be able to like the video games that you like. Play Minecraft, guys. Minecraft is fun. There you go. You have an interest. You're a nerd. I'm just kidding. Not everyone with an interest is a nerd. But what I'm just trying to say here is that people who hate on gaming and gamers, shut up, dude. They're literally just playing a game with like a pixels. It's pixels on a screen. Why do you care so much? One of my favorite things in the whole wide world was when that one trend was trending, the "you need to nerd out," and all of the like not nerds would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm really quirky. I like Love Island and Lululemon." It's so funny to me because they like pride themselves in that being nerdy, but then when an actual nerd comes along, they're like, "What? That's crazy!" Hate to break it to you, but Clash of Clans does not make you a nerd. See ya. Abrupt ending.